Hey Woodhounds, Craig here. Welcome back to the channel. We got something different planned today. We're going to be doing some maintenance on the splitter. This is a Wolfe Ridge 17RS with a Honda GX270 engine. So if you have a splitter like this or an engine like that, maybe this video will be useful for you. The plan is to do engine oil, engine air filter, engine spark plug, and also the hydraulic oil filter. As I'm going through each item, the plan is to talk to you all about maybe some tips or tricks or the part numbers I'm using or the quantities I'm using or where I purchase the parts, and hopefully that will help you out. It is a rainy day, so I figure this is a good chance to get this done. Let's get to it. We're going to start with the hydraulic oil filter. All right, hydraulic oil filter on this machine is part number SLE225. I believe the manufacturer of this filter is Zinga. I'll double check that. I bought this from Wolfe Ridge while we were there for the Midwest Firewood Frenzy. I could not find this at any local auto parts store. I was unable to cross-reference it to, a Wix or a Napa or some other filter. So no problem. Wolfe Ridge had it in stock, and it should work out great, obviously, because that's what they, put on their machines. I'll try and list what other splitters this filter is for, but double check your fitment before you go out and buy something yourself. The filter is underneath this housing, and this plastic cap should or could be removable by hand. I was unable to, so if you have like a filter wrench, that would probably be great. Or it does have slots and grooves up here. You might be able to get some sort of wrench on it. Or if you have a big channel locks, that would work. What I ended up doing was there's these slots up here, and I just simply rotated counterclockwise to loosen it, just like that. And from there, should be able to loosen it by hand. There is a spring assembly in there, so you might feel some pressure as you go. I don't think it's any sort of serious spring that's going to shoot out, but just be aware of that. There is a spring under here. That's what I meant about the spring. I guess it's just connected to the cap. Great. Get yourself a rag nearby, and the filter, I believe, is in some sort of plastic housing, but it should pull out. It might be seated in there. Yep, here's the filter's right here. And again, it's in plastic housing. Let that drip for a second. The filter should come out of the housing pretty easy. There we go. Discard this, won't be needing it. Give a look inside the tube, empty it out. There could be debris in there, but I'm not seeing anything. I'll inspect it closer with the flashlight. You probably won't be able to see, but there is some slight sediment in there, so I'm probably going to try and get that out, either with some brake parts cleaner or a rag, shop towel, but I'm going to get that out of there. All right, got that all cleaned out. Just used some brake parts cleaner and sprayed it out good. There wasn't a lot of debris in there, but I figure get it out, why not? Another thing to mention is that before doing all this maintenance, I did wash the splitter last weekend, car wash style, just to get all the dust and wood debris off. That way, when I set the filter down like this, I'm not worried about it picking up a bunch of debris. So up to you if you want to do that. Again, I cleaned the wood splitter just to make it a little cleaner environment for doing stuff like this. Also, can't remember if I mentioned it or not, but they recommend 500-hour change intervals for this filter. I was nowhere near 500 hours, but I figure change it, why not? Because it's only $25, peace of mind. So that's why we're doing it, even though we're not near the 500-hour mark. I think we're right around 120. So here's a closer look at the canister. It does have an O-ring up here. Be sure to check that out. Make sure it's in good condition and lube it up before installing. Down here, it's not an O-ring, but there is a groove, and that's kind of what you'll feel it seat into its position. On the filter itself, there is a rubber O-ring down here. So do recommend applying some oil to that surface before installing. I do have some brand new hydraulic oil here. You can probably get away without having any more hydraulic oil, but I've had it on hand already, and I figure I'll use this clean oil to top it off because there was a little bit of oil on the old filter when removing. But just double check your fill level when you're all done, because the Wolfe Ridges do have a sight glass to see how much oil's in them. So once this is lubed up good, you can reinstall it in the canister. You can kind of feel it seat just like that. Perfect. I just set it in there. I forgot I was going to top off some of the oil, so I'm going to pull it back out quick and top it off. Then you can install the canister. Pretty much sits right there. It doesn't really have a spot. You can't really miss it. It can only go right there. There's not really any play or wiggle room, so great. Then to reinstall the cap, it does also have an O-ring at the very top, so just double check to make sure that's in good condition and there's some oil on it. Then to reinstall the cap, remember there is the spring, so you'll have to apply some pressure when you're tightening it. Of course, being careful not to cross thread it, but I think we got it there good. All right, I need to wipe my hands so I can actually tighten it. All right, that should be good. Just gonna wipe it off. That way, if there's any leaks later, it's gonna be easier to spot because I'm leaving it clean and dry. I am not gonna torque on it with this. I think hand tight should be good enough. So great, mission accomplished there. Let's move on to work on the engine. So we'll do the air filter and spark plug next. For the air filter, the factory filter is part number 17210-ZE2-822. I cross-referenced that for a cheapo on Amazon. This one, I'll show you closer. I believe it was around $8 to $10 for 2 filters. I did also see you could get one of these locally at an O'Reilly's Auto Parts, but it was like 3 times the amount of money. That part number is 7-02709. Changing the air filter is super easy, of course. Wing nut at the top. Air filter cover comes off. Now you can just clean and maintain these outer filters. Like when I first got my splitter, I simply took this outer filter off and cleaned it. And I guess I'll just show you that, even though I'm going to replace the whole assembly today. But if you wanted to, again, you can just take off this cover and soapy water and let it dry out very good before reinstalling. But again, we have whole new assemblies going on, so I'm going to remove this part too. Another wing nut for this piece. The filter should just pop right off. It's probably hard to tell, but there is some dirt and debris on this cover, so I'm going to take that off and go rinse it off. All right, got it clean. Just took some brake parts cleaner and a rag to it. Perfect. The new air filter goes on the same way the old one came off, of course. Wing nut. All right, great. Before I put the cover back on, I'm actually going to do the spark plug right now. That will give me a little more room to move my hands around in there. So first things first, obviously, take off the spark plug wire. Might be a little resistance, but it should and will pop right off. For this spark plug, I'm using a 13/16 spark plug socket. It's a pretty tight fit in here. I actually had to remove the socket early because otherwise the socket was hitting on a lip on this muffler. So I got to back it out the rest of the way by hand. All right, got it out. Here's the old one. Looks fine, you know, nothing too crazy. And of course, new one. Here's the part number. So let's install that. I'm not sure if it's completely necessary, but it's something I usually always do. We got some dielectric grease, and I'm just going to apply a little at the top of the spark plug. That does a couple things. One, it makes it easier for the spark plug wire boot to go on and off. Plus, it does help seal out any moisture. Not too concerned about the moisture, but again, this doesn't hurt, and it could help when I go to change it in the future. Just go ahead and reinstall the new spark plug. It's kind of tricky getting it started. Just be patient. Probably should have waited to put dielectric grease on until after I got it started. My bad. All right, now that it's started, I can proceed with the wrench, or the ratchet, I should say. All right, just snug it up. Don't need to be too tight, of course. Then reinstall the spark plug wire. Spark plug wire should have some resistance, but then a click. There it was. Let's put the air filter cover back on. We're all set. All right, time for the engine oil. I'm actually going to put the other side up on a ramp, and that will help the oil flow a lot faster because I don't plan to warm this up. You know, mixed feelings on that. Some people will swear that you need to warm up the engine first. Maybe that's true, but today I'm just going to, you know, put the other side up on a ramp, and that way it should make it flow quick. I think we need some better suspension. What do they call that in the 4x4 world? Articulation? We don't got any articulation. It's because there is no suspension on this. Socket and ratchet. We're doing a 12 millimeter. Fits perfect. Break it loose, then can remove it by your fingers. There we go. So we'll let that sit for a little bit. All right, that should be good. I let it drain for a bit, you know, walked away, put some tools away, stuff like that. Make sure you got the crush washer and it's in good shape. And this one is, so I'll go ahead and reinstall. Tighten it up, again, 12 millimeter. Don't need to go too tight. And since I don't have a great funnel to refill this, to make it easier on me, I'm actually going to swap the ramp and move it over to this side to make for easier filling, gravity helping me out here. So let's do that. So no, putting it up on ramps on this side probably isn't necessary, but again, I don't have a flexible funnel, so this will kind of make it a little easier filling it. And what we're filling it with is just regular automotive oil, 10W30 in this case. You can use pretty much anything you want. You know, any auto parts would have the oil for this. I just chose cheap 10W30. It does take 1 full quart and I believe 5 ounces. I'll double check, but so that's what we're gonna fill it with, and of course we'll double check on the dipstick to make sure we're good there. So yep, I double checked. It calls for 1.16 quarts of oil. So that was just 1 quart that we put in it. And if I do the math right, that means I need 5 more ounces. So that's what I got in this bottle. Again, 10W30 still. All right, let's put the dipstick back in. Then we'll double check everything and give you some final thoughts. So now that the splitter's back on level ground, double check the oil level here. It should be pretty much right at the neck, which, yep, we are. I mean, it's about to drip out. I mean, I can make it drip out there a little bit. So that's perfect. That's where it's supposed to be. So great. There you go. Everything went smooth. Hydraulic oil filter, engine oil, air filter, spark plug, all perfect. No surprises. Well, I shouldn't say no surprises yet. I actually haven't started it up and split anything, which we'll do soon. But if you have any questions on the maintenance we did today, the parts I used, or where I bought them, don't hesitate to ask. But let's get out there and split a few pieces of wood.